Welcome to Scandal Water, where the tea is hot and the conversation lively.
Your hosts, Candy
And Ashley,
will discuss a peculiar story somehow related to the entertainment industry. This podcast might not change the world, but it just might satisfy your thirst for an intriguing tale.
Oh, it's that time of day. Tune in and hear what the ladies say. It's time to bend your ear when the silver screen appears. Stories about the stage and screen and everything in between. So come on and join the fun. The curtain opens in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, Ashley.
hello.
We are here in person. How about
Finally.
that?
Hey.
Although we cannot say that the snow and ice are gone.
Nope, it's still there.
In fact, we had a little adventure in the snow coming in because your driveway is still not cleared
It's
yet.
still not clear.
That's
yes.
right. So I parked at the end. You came out and met me and carried things up.
You gave me my cookies and my Dr. Pepper, and I said, thank you very much. I walked up the driveway.
You know, I've thought about this. Kennedy loves warm weather. That's why she likes Arizona.
I do not
She
blame her.
likes sunshine. I always tell people, and it's the truth, I like the different seasons. But what I've
Yeah.
discovered is I don't need as much of winter. I'm
It's
okay.
been since January 5th. We have been in, for us, it is now January 18th. So
I know.
it's a long time.
Give me a little snow, give me a little weather, and then let's just push on towards spring.
Let's just do it.
I know. As we said last week, we are now in our February series of Love Will Keep Us Together. And this is Valentine's week. And I am very excited that the couple that we are talking about this week is one that I absolutely love. I am fans of both of them. And you're going to know who the couple is as soon as I tell you the fun little game that we're going to use to start this episode.
Okay.
So have you heard of 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon?
Yes, of course I have.
Of
Yes.
course you have. Have you ever been asked to play?
Yeah.
I'm about to ask you to play.
Okay, let's play it.
I'm going to say, I tried this myself.
Uh-huh.
So much harder than I thought it was going to be.
Really? Are you 6 degrees from Kevin Bacon yourself?
That's what I tried to do.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm asking you to do the same thing.
Okay.
Get yourself to Kevin Bacon in less than 6
moves?
or 6 moves or less.
Oh, mercy. Well, I'd have to know his career
That's
really
what I found
well.
out is I actually had to do a little IMDb searching because I could not do it without some help.
Well, give me a little hint here. How can we start? Like, what did you do?
I started with Leanne Morgan because we
Oh.
have met her in person.
Yes, we have. We have met her in person. And then has she done something with someone who is related to him?
Well, it took me several steps. Do you want me to just tell you what I did?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So I started with Leanne Morgan.
Yeah.
You'll remember she told us when we met her.
That she had a movie coming out.
had a movie coming
yes. Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon
I
are going to
used
be in it.
Reese.
You
Yes,
used Reese.
I used
okay.
Reese.
Tennessee. Yeah, okay.
So then I did have to do some. I told you I cheated, but
You could have also used Nate, I guess, because he's from
I
Tennessee.
could have. Yes.
Okay.
Well, but I thought they had to actually work together or have a
Oh,
personal connection.
yeah,
I
that's
thought
true.
there had to be an
No,
actual
you're right.
interaction.
You're
okay.
right.
So Reese starred with Nicole Kidman in Big Little Lies.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I was like, hey, Nicole was married to Tom Cruise and was in movies
Oh, and he
with
was
him
in A
as
Few Good
well.
Men.
Exactly.
Nice.
That's what I did. So how many steps was that? Leanne to Reese to Nicole to Tom to Kevin. I did it in 5.
You did it in 5.
How about that?
Oh, wow, that's good.
With help. So
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
so the couple that we're talking about today, obviously, Kevin Bacon and Kyra Sedgwick.
Yes.
And quick side note before we move on, since we played the 6 Degrees game.
Well, you played it. I listened.
Well,
I'm going to have to think about it. Maybe I'll figure it out at the break.
Oh,
Because I'll
okay.
have to look at IMDb.
sounds good.
Okay.
But when it first came out, Kevin actually didn't like it. He felt like, well,
Why?
even though it was attention, in a way to him, it almost seemed like it was making light of his talent or his career. Like he didn't.
Wait, I've got it. I can do it
Okay.
in less. Wait a minute. Just a minute. Okay. I got it. I met Carrie Elways in person.
That's right.
Carrie Elways was directed by Rob Reiner, who directed A Few Good Men with Kevin Bacon.
You did it in 3.
I did it in 3.
That's amazing.
Thank you very much.
Very good. Very
Okay,
good.
sorry.
Well, but to finish the point.
Yes.
At first he thought maybe this kind of made light of his talent. Like it kind of made him almost like a little bit of a joke or a game.
Oh, yeah.
And then he realized, no.
It's fun. They're still talking about you.
Exactly. He came to embrace it. He saw that as being a really good thing. And he actually started a charity organization. And it is called 6degrees.org.
Oh,
I know. So talk about taking something that made him a little uncomfortable at first and turning it into such a positive thing.
I love it.
Well, so again, we're going to be talking about this couple who have had a very long, loving relationship. Let's start by giving a little bit of our background with them. Tell me your experience or your liking for Kevin Bacon and Kyra Sedgwick.
Kyra, I don't know as much about, although I did see her, what's her show called that she was on for
The Closer.
Yeah, I saw that. And that's probably in the front of my mind what I've seen of her. Now I have seen a lot of his films. Obviously, A Few Good Men. I've seen R.I.P.D., which I really liked, but apparently even the people in it didn't like it that much.
Really?
I think it's a great film. It's fun, but I saw that. I saw where he played, oh gosh, I don't even remember the name of this movie, but I've seen him play multiple characters. And in this one, he was not really a bad guy, but he was a guy trying to get revenge for his family that had been killed. And like there was this back and forth killing, and it really disturbed me.
It wasn't Mystic River, was it?
No, it wasn't that one. But it was one where I was like, it stayed with me for a long time and not in a good way. Like it was disturbing to me. But he was great in it. And it shows his wife. And of course, Footloose. I mean, I've seen that.
Right. Yeah. I'm the same way. I'm a Kevin Bacon fan.
I like him.
I think he's got versatility. I mean, I haven't loved every single film, but I've liked a lot of them, and I think he's a very solid actor. Some of the ones that came to my mind, you've named some of them. Footloose, of course, A Few Good Men, Flatliners, Apollo
I
13,
saw that one. Oh yes, I forgot
Tremors,
he was in that.
Stir of Echoes. Those are some ones that I thought he did a great job in.
Yes.
And what I love, have you seen the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special?
Yes.
It is delightful.
It's funny.
And I think that's one of the things that I love about Kevin is that I like him as a person too.
Yeah.
He strikes me as someone who's humble and down to earth and willing to make fun of himself.
Yes. And maybe that comes with his embracing of the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. It shows his arc as a character is like at first he was uncomfortable, and maybe as he's chilled out over the years he's just become this person,
right, and become more self-confident.
Maybe
I'm just going to put in a plug for this because I really love it. If you have not seen the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, I believe it's on Netflix. It came out in 2022. It's really cute.
It is cute.
It's very cute. So next holiday season, watch it. Kyra Sedgwick, I am also a huge fan, and it's for the very reason you named. I watched The Closer from start
Did you
to
really?
finish.
You know, I remember when the other lady took over. Wait, or was the other lady first?
No, she took over
She
when
took
Kyra
over.
decided
but
to step out.
didn't they do something where she went on an elevator and the elevator doors closed and the elevator opens and the other lady comes out? But they weren't the same person, correct?
No, she definitely, they acknowledged that she was leaving and this was going to be a different person who was basically taking over, I believe. And I'm going to tell you, I didn't watch the new version, and it didn't last long.
Really?
Yeah. Kyra just was so good. She was so good as Brenda Lee Johnson. In fact, I'm going to take just a minute to talk about this because this was really big in her career. The IMDb summary says, Deputy Police Chief Brenda Lee Johnson, formerly Atlanta police officer and CIA-trained interrogator, is given the opportunity to run her own division of elite officers of the LA Police Department. Her unusual procedure for obtaining confessions, blatant disregard for politics, and Southern accent make her a marked woman. However, with all the bluster and bravado, she still maintains her title, The Closer. This was a really big thing for her. She has other things in her career as well, but we'll talk about that later. This is a big one that comes to mind for
What
people.
channel was that on? Was it USA?
I want to say it was like TBS,
TBS.
or something like that.
See, that's why I couldn't watch it, because by the time it came out, I didn't have cable at that time, but on my regular, antenna TV, it would come on late at night, so I wouldn't catch it then.
Yeah. Have you seen them on social media?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
Are they cute?
They're adorable, and I think that's how a lot of people know them all the time. Kevin will do things by himself. He's a musician, and he will draw Kyra in, and together they will do a lot of things, and then sometimes they bring their kids in, one or both. So that's another way that they've been very public, I think, and
That's
people really relate to them. So let's talk about their story.
Okay.
In an interview with the hosts of The View that he gave almost a decade ago, Kevin shared how he and Kyra first met. So I'm going to play around 35 seconds of this interview.
And you said that you met her for the first time when she was 12?
I did, yeah. We weren't dating at the time.
Okay.
Because I am older than her by quite a few years, but I was doing a play down in the village, and in between the matinee and the evening show, she had seen the matinee. She saw me at the deli buying a sandwich, and her brother was there with her, and he said, go up and talk to him. She went up and said, I liked you in your show, and I don't remember it, but she does.
So I thought that was cute.
That is funny.
So this actually would have been 1978 when they crossed paths. He's already said she was 12. He would have been around 19, possibly going on 20, right? So just to fill you in a little bit, here's a quote from a CNBC article where he gives the backstory of how he ended up in New York. Actually, it's the narrator telling this. It says, Bacon was so eager to start working as an actor that he graduated from high school half a year early, packed a suitcase, and moved to New York City with the money he'd saved working in a warehouse shipping medical books. It was 1976, and he was 18. While auditioning for roles, Bacon made ends meet bussing tables at Fiorello's Roman Cafe. He worked his way up to waiter and got a gig at the Allstate Cafe, a once famous New York City bar that has since closed. Bacon's first acting break came relatively quickly when he landed a role in the 1978 cult classic Animal House. And he felt set for life. Quote, I thought that I was 100% done. The movie paid more money than I had ever imagined. It was something like $700 a week, and I was out there for 5 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot to me now. I'm with you, Kevin.
Again, he would have been around 20 when Animal House came out, and it did bring him, of course, the immediate money and some success, but it wasn't really nearly actually as impactful to his career as it was for some of his co-stars. He said that he blew through the money really quickly, had to end up going back to waiting tables while he continued to work to launch his career. He had small roles on soap operas, specifically Search for Tomorrow and Guiding Light, and he also did some off-Broadway shows, which is
Where he met.
That's exactly. And a lot of people, I think, remember him for his role in the 1980 film Friday the 13th.
Not me, but I'm sure you do.
Well, at the time, it was, I think, really cheesy. But I mean, obviously now it's considered a horror classic. And so a lot of people will reference his role in that. But most people say that another big move for him was when he was cast in Diner in 1982. Big break. But nothing like the 1984 hit Footloose.
Nothing like that.
Yeah.
That was a phenomenon.
Do you remember seeing that your first time?
I would have been 4 when it came out. So
No, you don't.
But I remember seeing it eventually. Yes.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And he, I mean, talk about star power. He really had it all. He could dance. He had great talent. He had charisma. I mean, that was a star vehicle. Yeah. Well, by this point, Kyra was also a working actress. She was cast in her first acting job at age 16 when she was cast as Julia Shearer on Another World.
Wouldn't it be funny if seeing him in that play made her want to become an actor, and then that's how she recrossed paths with him? That would be sweet.
That would be sweet.
Probably
she
not
was
true.
already an
Yeah,
aspiring
that's fine.
actress.
That's
she was
fine.
already working on it. But okay.
Let me have my dream.
There you go. But over the next few years, she also had minor roles in several TV series and films. And it was because of that they crossed paths again when they were both cast in the movie Lemon Sky.
Never heard of that.
Me either. But it was... I don't know if they filmed in 1987 or if it came out in 1987, but it was around this time frame. And in that same interview we've already heard a little piece from, it's the one that Kevin gave The View. He credited Jeff Daniels and Cynthia Nixon for helping get him and Kyra together because they were the two actors who were doing Lemon Sky as a play off-Broadway, and they were approached and they were offered the roles in the movie, and they both turned it down.
I wonder why.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe they had some better gig.
Huh.
By the way, it was a movie for PBS.
Okay.
So they declined, and those are the roles that Kevin and Kyra stepped into.
Well,
Yeah. At the time they were filming, Kevin was around 29 and Kyra was 22.
much better
Yes.
than 12 and 19.
And Kevin told People magazine in 2023 that it was love at first sight for him, saying, quote, I was knocked out. I thought she was amazing. Not quite the same for Kyra.
That's funny because the first time she thinks he's cool and he's like, who's this kid? I don't remember her. The second time he's like, you're amazing. She's like, who are you?
I think it's a sign of her maturity because as a 12-year-old, I think it wasn't so much that she was just attracted to him.
Oh, yeah. She just thought he was not, yeah.
She thought he was talented.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she was probably very...
She had a talent crush.
There you go. Yes. But in an interview given 12 years ago with Conan O'Brien, Kyra shared a little bit about this, and I'm going to play a short excerpt for you.
So we met doing a movie called Lemon Sky, and we were in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and I wasn't really interested in hooking up, or whatever it is that the kids say these days.
That's what we say.
Yeah. So every night after work, he was very, friendly and sweet. And every night after work, he would invite he would say, "Who wants to go out to dinner?" And the whole cast would say yes, except for me. And later on, he told me that the only person he wanted to say yes was me. And I never said yes. And he was always stuck with the check, poor guy. Anyway, so one day, a couple weeks into the shoot, we were doing a scene, and he was massaging baby oil on my back. In the scene.
Oh, it's part of the scene.
In the scene.
I was going to say, he's a confident operator. She won't talk to me. Splurge.
And so he said to me, "You're really tight. Have you ever had a massage?" Worst line ever. And I said...
Or best line.
Or best. Yeah, actually, you're right. So I said, no, I hadn't. I actually hadn't at that time. He said, there's this really great massage therapist at my hotel. We were staying at separate hotels.
Wow, yeah.
And he said, "You should make an appointment to go see her." And it just so happens that the gym, the massage room, is in the gym. And if I happen to be finished with my workout when you're finished with your massage, maybe we can get dinner. And I'm thinking, yeah, sure, that's not going to happen. I mean, I'm not going to tell him when my massage is. So, shocker, I get out of my massage like that weekend, and who's just stepping off the Stairmaster? Whew! What an exhausting workout.
I thought you were going to say, I was finishing my massage and he was in the room. So he timed it, so he's getting off the Stairmaster
later on he told me. I mean, I completely bought it. I thought it was just a coincidence. Years later, he told me he'd actually called downstairs and asked when I was getting massaged, which is kind of creepy. But whatever. No,
and you let him know. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That woman. That's the worst part. Yeah. We'll tell you exactly when she's done. Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
It is funny. I am glad that he was recommending someone else, because I'm kind of with Conan. I was like, is it going to be you in the room?
I know.
It's like, hey, I'm here. No, that was much better.
Yeah, he was really taken with her.
Yeah.
And it was really cute because he said in a different interview, they talk about each other all the time. He said in a different interview that he goes, "Oh my God," he goes, "She was gorgeous. She was a knockout. Of course, that drew my attention." He said, "But I would never have stayed attracted to her if she hadn't been so talented." He said she had everything.
Aww.
So they speak so well of each other. I love that. But anyway, back to the timeline. After this, after going out on this date and having dinner, she admits that they started dating and fell in love very quickly, although she said it was a bit terrifying for her. I mean, think about it. She's very young. She said, quote, "He just was the one, He was just the soulmate. He was just the one."
Wow.
So despite being a little nervous about it, they married in September of 1988. And while they were on their honeymoon, they're like, you know what? We're fine with starting a family right away. We're okay with that. And they actually got pregnant just a few weeks after they got married.
Wow.
And they had their first child, son Travis, 10 months after their marriage.
Wow.
Yeah. Kyra was actually pregnant with Travis while she was filming Born on the 4th of July, which came out in 1989 and is thought to be her big breakout role.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I haven't seen that. That's with Tom
Oh,
Cruise
really?
as well, right?
Yeah, it's very impressive, but it's dark, like it's very dramatic, very affecting. But they had Travis, of course, we've said that. He came in 1989. Their daughter Sosie was born in 1992. As a married couple, their individual careers took off. We've already named several of Kevin's notable films, but just to add a few more, there was He Said, She Said, JFK, The River Wild, Murder in the First, so many that he was doing. Some of Kyra's biggest films were Singles. She was also in Murder in the First, Something to Talk About. That was a big one for her. And Phenomenon, Murder in the First. We've heard that mentioned for both of them, and that's because these two have actually worked together on a number of projects over the years. We've already said they met co-starring in Lemon Sky. They co-starred in another film in 1991 called Pirates, which apparently was maybe not their best film. It went straight to VHS.
Aww.
But in 1995, they did Murder in the First. It starred Kevin, who received some nice critical praise for his work, while Kyra played a smaller role. And it was not long after this that he got to direct her in the 1996 film Losing Chase, which is when he made his directorial debut.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah. And just as a fun little side note, it was also around this time in 1995 that Kevin also formed a band with his brother Michael.
The Bacon Brothers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Have you heard them play anything?
I don't think so.
I've
Are
heard
they
little-
rock?
Kind of. Yeah,
Okay.
I think, yeah. I guess that's what you would call it. But anyway, it's called the Bacon Brothers. They are still going strong today, although it was so cute. I saw an interview where they were joking about, well, the first part wasn't a joke. They were saying, you know, we're proud of the fact that we are this band that's comprised of brothers, and we're doing great, you know, in terms of getting along, unlike a lot of other sibling bands.
Yeah.
They were saying it's kind of sad how you'll have these other situations where the brothers don't get along. They break up. They start having really hostile relationships. And then one of them says, well, you know, maybe it's because those other bands are so successful and that's where all the fighting starts. And they're like, oh, so our secret is we don't sell any records.
That's
So,
it.
okay, let's
That's
just
it,
keep
man.
going. We're doing great.
We're doing great.
Yeah.
We can either like each other or be successful.
Yeah, but they have a lot of fun together. I love it. But back to Kyra and Kevin. They like working together. In 2004, they actually worked together in 2 films. She starred in the movie Cave Dweller while Kevin played a smaller role. And the same year, they also co-starred in a movie called The Woodsman. And then the following year, 2005, is when Kyra's TV series, The Closer, debuted.
How long was she on that show?
It ran for 7 seasons.
It was a long time.
2005 to 2012. It was
Wow.
a huge commitment. We're
Wow.
going to come back and actually talk
Okay.
a little bit more about that after the break.
Okay.
Because after the break, we not only have that little interesting tidbit to dig into, but we're also going to talk about how the Bacons ended up losing almost their entire savings.
No.
Yeah, there's your little teaser.
Oh,
We'll be back in a few minutes.
okay. There's not much we love more than spilling the tea with you every Tuesday. So, we've decided to occasionally take a moment to thank a few of our supporters who help make this possible. Along with the fun, producing a weekly podcast also brings with it more time and expense than you might expect. Your financial generosity in becoming a member through Buy Me a Coffee or Patreon, both of which can be found on our website or social media accounts, allows us to keep creating these episodes. We would like to extend our deepest gratitude to one of our current members, Jennifer R. As a thank you, Jennifer and anyone else who becomes a Scandal Water supporter will receive perks like discounts on merch and access to exclusive bonus content, such as our minisodes. If you'd like to hear your name on that roster, become a member using one of the links on social media or on our website, scandalwaterpodcast.com. Until then, we lift our cup to you, Jennifer. Cheers!
And we are back. So as we mentioned earlier, The Closer was a very successful project for Kyra. And this is the thing. She's talked about this openly. It was a big deal.
It is a big deal.
She carried that show.
Yeah.
She was very clearly the star. Kevin actually got to direct a handful of the episodes, and their daughter Sosie played the niece of Kyra's character, Brenda, in 4 episodes. So as they like to do, they brought in the family a little bit. But here's the thing. Kyra has revealed in interviews that she almost turned the role down, mainly because of the kids. She was afraid it was going to be too much time away. They lived in New York.
Where did it film?
LA.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
But Kevin encouraged her to accept it. He said this is a wonderful opportunity, and the two of them decided they would make this work. They would move the family from New York to LA, and they were
Wow.
going to do this. And Kyra's success in The Closer has been given a lot of credit for opening the doors for other women in Hollywood, especially women over 40.
Yeah.
In a 2012 interview with Hollywood Reporter that Kyra gave about the time the series was coming to a close, she was asked this question. The Closer was a groundbreaking series centered on a strong woman in her 40s. Can you speak to how it paved the way for such shows as Saving Grace and The Good Wife? And this is what Kyra said. I was 39 when The Closer started. It certainly wasn't intentional for me to have a groundbreaking show. It just happened to be. The idea that I can have anything to do with the possibility of more opportunities opening up for women is wonderful. At the time, I didn't think big picture that much.
Yeah.
I went where my gut tells me, where the character seems interesting, and where the writing seems good. You take it a day at a time. That was what we did. Then it became a phenomenon. But you never know that going in. This ended up being more than just a show. They really talked about how this kind of was almost a thing that made some changes.
A
in Hollywood.
trailblazer?
Yeah, exactly. So meanwhile, Kevin was still going strong, performing, doing his own thing during this time, but he was also delving more into that role of director. Some of the movies he did, acting, Mystic River, Frost Nixon, and X-Men First Class. But again, also some directorial roles, and some of those, of course, as we've said, were with the closer. But here's the thing. Both of them are working hard. Both of them are successful. They are bringing in money, and it was a good thing they were, because in 2008, they experienced a devastating setback. I don't know if they spoke about it before then, but it was a 2022 interview where I saw Kevin reveal that somewhere along the way, he and Kyra had invested, quote, most of our money with Bernie Madoff. The notorious Ponzi scheme king is how they referred to it in a Vanity Fair article. It was late 2008 where all that came out and everything unraveled. And so this is about the time when they lost almost all their money.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Kevin shared in an article that what saved them was their attitudes and their ability to keep
Because that's about 20
working.
years worth of work. If he started, let's say his big break was in 88, or that's when they got
84
married.
was Footloose.
Okay,
Yeah.
84 Footloose, but they got married in 88. And so cumulatively, they have been building income for 20 years.
Yes. And they think they're, I mean, you're kind of on top of the world. She's in
Yeah.
this hit.
Yeah.
He's doing all these projects. Yeah. But he said, quote, when something like that happens, you look at each other and you go, well, that sucks. And let's roll up our sleeves and get to work. We've made it this far. Our kids are healthy. We're healthy, you know. Let's look at what we have that's good. We can still both work. So he said that's what they did. They just put their nose to the grindstone and they were like, we've got to take the jobs. We've got to bring in the money. We've got to this is our reaction. This is how we deal with this. He went on to share that they did eventually recover, he called it a portion of their funds through legal proceedings, but not all. But he said it was a great learning experience, and he just was very positive about it. He kept saying, you know, we were lucky. There were other people who were not in a position to work and to bring in more money. He said we were the fortunate ones. So that was something that impressed me. I knew nothing about that. So again, that happened in the late 2000s. They are continuing to work, and it was about a decade later when Kyra started to try her hand at directing. She actually made her directorial debut with the 2017 Lifetime movie Story of a Girl, which earned her a DGA award nomination.
Oh,
and
cool.
as they like to do, they involve the family in their projects. Kevin and Sosie both had acting roles in the movie, and their son Travis, who is a musician, is credited as the composer for the film.
Nice.
And then over the next 5 years, Kyra occasionally worked on some other directing projects, such as episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Ray Donovan, before she made her feature film directing debut in 2022 with Space Oddity. She told Variety magazine just this past June, quote, I have fallen in love with directing. This feels so much better than acting. I'm much less vulnerable, and I feel like I know what I'm doing more. I have so much confidence. As an actor, I am filled with self-doubt.
I could see that. Yep.
That article went on to share that Kyra has a company called Big Swing, through which she has produced a number of films, and there are more projects in the works, including a TV series that she said she had to fight for, and that's coming in the future. I haven't mentioned it yet, but Kevin said in one source that he also has a production company that he's had for several decades. So this must be something that actors do.
I think so. I think it's a way to use their wealth to produce, and then it's a way to grow their money. Because you can only do so many shows. I mean, when you act in something, you're committing for weeks, and you can only do so many films in a year. But if you produce, then you can get on what do they call it? Passive income, maybe? I don't know. This is just me talking, where you invest in something and you hope you're going to get your investment back plus some.
And it probably is also a way, I mean, the entertainment industry is so
Fickle.
unpredictable. Yes, and fickle, that's a great word. That it's probably also a way to ensure that you're going to get some projects.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah. So what makes them such a great couple? I mean, there are lots of answers to that, obviously, but I pulled out a couple of points that I thought were significant. And one of the great things about their marriage, from my opinion, based on just, you know, interviews and that type of thing, and listening to the way they speak about each other, is the fact that they support each other so fully. Both have been very open in sharing some of their struggles as an entertainer. Kevin has talked about anxiety and self-doubt, especially in his early days. He even talked about one time almost having like a nervous breakdown. And Kyra, we just heard her say that she's not as confident as an actor. She has the self-doubt. She's been very open too. Here's an excerpt from that Variety interview that I mentioned just a minute ago, where Kyra shares a little bit about her challenges in the entertainment industry. Just to let you know, I'm going to read this quote, but it's offered from the perspective of the interviewer who's talking to her.
I see. Okay.
I was never an A-lister, Kyra offers at one point. When I countered that The Closer was the most watched basic cable series when it aired, she admits she's sorry it didn't lead to other strong roles. Quote, I would try to get jobs during my hiatus, she says, and I landed some good ones that did well. But I was never able to parlay the success of The Closer into more great features or TV work. Like I would have loved to have been in Succession. So I thought that's interesting because again, here she opens doors for all these other women and yet
They're closed for her.
right.
Yeah.
She finishes that and still can't get another great role.
Yeah.
Because both of them have been so enmeshed in the industry and they've seen it firsthand and they've felt it. They were both reluctant to have their kids follow them into the profession, and yet they did.
Yeah.
They both did.
Yeah.
So we're going to come back to that in a second, but we're talking about how they support each other. They said that here it is. It's so challenging. One of the things that has helped them to get through all those challenges is their partner. They've said in different interviews, they both talked about this. The other one will be there to commiserate with them when something goes wrong. They will read each other's projects, give each other advice, or talk through, should you do this? Should you not do this?
That's invaluable.
Exactly. They've decided, they've made a conscious decision. We want to work more together. We're going to do more projects together. And they also, one other way to support each other is through these fun social media posts.
Yeah.
In fact, it's interesting because they like to do it for fun, but these are smart people. They also know that it actually helps their career or helps keep them in the limelight when they do things like that people watch and enjoy. Kyra has said, quote, Kev drags me kicking and screaming to do these things, but they're actually really fun. And transactionally, I have to say, when Kevin and I do something together, it goes off the charts.
Wow.
So, another important aspect of their marriage is how much value they have always put on their family. Of course, we've seen that even through the course of this episode. We've seen that family dynamic come up time and time again. But just to touch on a few more things, the kids, as I said, did decide to pursue careers in the entertainment industry. Travis, who's now 35, is a musician and composer and member of the heavy metal band Black Anvil, while Sosie is an actress who is best known for her work on the movie Smile and Mayor of Easttown. And by the way, I haven't seen much about this, but one source said that Travis has also recently been trying his hand at producing and directing, so he may be branching out. So we've already established that sometimes they've already done projects together. They have another one in the works. Variety magazine says that all four of them are slated to appear in an upcoming horror comedy movie, which is titled Family Movie. Very appropriate, yeah. But it's also clear from their social media posts and different interviews they've given, they like hanging out together.
That's really sweet.
Yeah. Kevin and Kyra split their time between an apartment in New York City and a farm in Connecticut. If you've seen their social media posts, you've seen the farm. They will do songs sitting out in the barn, or there will be goats around them. You would actually love some of these. You
I need to look them up.
Yeah, you really do. But sometimes you will see the kids joining in on a song. Sometimes it's all four of them. It's adorable. And you will see pictures of them together at movie premieres or other events. They are so close, in fact. I thought this was interesting. All four have a matching family tattoo.
For real?
Yeah, I have a picture of it. We'll put it in show notes. Kyra was wearing kind of an open side panel dress, and it's on her side and you can see it. But she told the story in a Graham Norton interview. She said one night they were all four heading out to dinner, and of course these are grown kids. These are like kids in their 30s, right? So she said she's joking with them, and she says, to the car, she says, we'll go get drunk and we'll get tattoos. Ha 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 ha.
And they said, okay.
Well, not to the drunk part. But she said that they all took it seriously. Like everybody kind of lit up, and she said that I think it was at dinner actually, Kevin starts sketching. And I'm not surprised that he's artistic in that way as well, since he's artistic in every other way. But before he's done, he has come up with this design.
Like a family crest?
Well, it's actually their initials. It incorporates all 4 of their initials, and it's pretty cool looking. And sure enough, every single one of them went and got that family tattoo put on them.
That is commitment.
I know. So to bring this to a close, they have been asked about the secret to their long and happy marriage a million times. They've given so many different answers, but I will give you 2 things that I've seen come up a lot. One of those is the amount of respect they have for each other. They are always complimenting each other, talking about the talent. In fact, Kyra said in a People interview, I think we've always been each other's biggest support and fan. And then the other thing that I would say comes up a lot is they will both talk about the other's ability to make them laugh.
Oh, that's so important.
Yeah, they laugh together all the time. They have fun together. They both say that is a key ingredient in their marriage. And Kyra says Kevin is just so freaking funny.
That's good.
Armchair psychologist.
So I think that brings us to the armchair. And I'm just going to ask you, we've talked about so many celebrity couples. If you were going to give them an award, think about like what makes them stand out as a celebrity couple. What award do you think you would give them?
What award would I give Kevin and Kyra? Is there a steadfast? Like
Well,
they're
we're
the
making
most...
it up. You
Oh,
can,
okay,
of course,
okay.
of course.
They are I can't say most supportive because everybody's supportive. That's why they're on this list. That's why we're talking about them.
Right.
But that word just came to my head. The most steadfast. I don't know why. They just seem like when they saw each other, it was just, this is who I want to be with. They're just steady and supportive, and I don't know, just steadfast.
I like that. I do this all the time to myself where I give you a question that I haven't thought about.
Well, at least it makes it more fair.
So I don't have a word in my mind, so you can help me come up with the name of the award. When I think of them, there are people who are together, and I'm not saying they don't love each other. I know they do, but they're like posing or they're conscious of everything.
Maybe they're authentic.
Well, that's a good word. But I think what I'm getting to is when I see them together, I 100% truly believe they would rather be nowhere else than in each other's presence.
Yeah.
Like they really, really love being together.
Sounds like they really like each other.
They do.
They don't just love each other, they like each other.
They really do. So it is an award, couple that likes each other the most. I'm not sure that sounds like super romantic. But I think the point is valid. The point is valid. Yeah. All right. So, well, there you go, Kyra and Kevin.
If you care at all, if you ever listen to this, you're the most steadfast and you like each other.
And you like each other.
There you go.
And you might love each other too. We think you do. We really think you do. And you know what? We love you too.
We do.
So, cheers to you, Kyra and Kevin.
Cheers.
If you love what we do, please rate and review our show or become a supporter through Buy Me a Coffee or Patreon. Whether a single gift or recurring monthly donation, your support is what allows us to keep the tea brewing.
Subscribe on your favorite podcast app or the Scandal Water Podcast YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Show notes are available at our website, scandalwaterpodcast.com, where you can also access the merch store and more.
This episode was executive produced by Candy Thomas, that's me, and Ashley Raymer Brown,
that's me.
It was researched and written by Candy Thomas and edited by Ashley Raymer Brown.
A special thank you to Josh Martin, who wrote, composed, and performed the Scandal Water theme and other music. Matt C. Adams, who created the artwork, and Joshua Reith, who designed our website and provides ongoing technical support.
As a reminder, this podcast is purely for entertainment purposes. The thoughts and opinions of the hosts during each episode of Scandal Water are their own and do not reflect the opinions of any future guests, advertisers, or clearly professional psychologists. Thanks for listening.